Alright. It looks like this family is coming down the stairs again. Darn it. I feel like it takes them a long time to get down the stairs. Alright. Yeah, it's been a few minutes so far. But I really have to go because it's Friday night. It's tight. Friday afternoon. Alright. Where am I? Alright, people, just get out of here, okay? Alright. Alright, people, come on. Yankee Lazar. Alright. Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Yud Beis, Daf 15 of Masechta Kiddushin, friends. Friends, let me tell you something about Daf Yud Beis. Shtickle math. We did a little bit of math yesterday. I can't remember. So a little bit of math, and then some other stuff. All right, people, you gotta get out of here, Yankee Lazar. Let me clean my glasses 1 second. By the way, people, do you want an update on the fruits of Eretz Yisrael? You want the latest update? The mangoes are off the charts. The watermelon is geschmack. The figs are insane. Come to Eretz Yisrael, see for yourself. All right. So now, okay, the Yud Beis and Aleph. First wide line. You ready? Tell me when you're ready. So Basil says that Kiddushin Kesef is with the Shavar Puter. Shavar Rav Yosef Lemeimer. So Rav Yosef thought to say, okay, friends, I'm not a finance guy. I don't understand finance stuff, but I'll explain it the way I think I understand it. Okay, Shavar Rav Yosef Lemeimer Pruta Koldu. So Rav Yosef was of the opinion that it's a pruta regardless of what regardless of if the pruta is strong or if the pruta is weak, if it's, regardless of how many prutas it is to $1, it's always going to be one pruta. It's not like if the pruta is weak, then it's going to be 2 prutas. It's always just one pruta. Okay? So pruta koldu. It's just, you give one pruta, whatever its value is. Abai says to Rav Yosef, Allah kotani, kame pruta echad mishmona b'isar italki. But Abai says, 1 second, but doesn't the Mishnah say that it isn't necessarily one pruta, whatever it's worth? It's relative to the Italian isser. It's the value of 1/8 of an isser italki. V'chitema, and if you're going to say Animila b'dor shel Moshe, that maybe at the time of Moses it was 1/8 of in Isser ha'Italki aval hocha kidechashva lehu leinshe, but now it's just whatever I guess it is. Okay, sometimes more, sometimes less. Whatever pruta is, you just give a pruta. V'aki also Rav Dimi, when Rav Dimi came, he said Shir Reb Simai b'doro kame pruta ech mishmona be'Isser Italki, that Reb Dimi said that in his generation it's 1/8 of in Isser Italki. V'chi also Ravin Amar Reb Dostai Reb Yanai V'Boshai Sheru Kama Ve'Puta Ech Mishisha B'Isser Italki, that it's 1/6 of an Italian Isser. I.e., it sounds like it's an amount that's relative to the Italian Isser. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Okay, and I guess the way I'm understanding it is that I guess if it's like, I guess you might have to give like more than, like, I guess if it's 1/8 and then it's 1/6, so then maybe you would need to do, what would that be, like 1.5 isars or something? Yeah, I guess. So if like 1.5 prutas, I guess, maybe, is that what it's saying? So like when it's 1/8, so then it's 1 pruta, but if it needs to be 1/6 of Italian isar, then maybe it would have to be 1.5 prutas. Am I understanding that right or not? I'm not really sure. So Amalei Rav Yosef, Ihachi. So Rav Yosef says, well, if that's the case, that that it's 1/8 of an Italian isar, so then Hainu Tanina, is that what it says? Tsevach Hashov kama prutos b'shnei sloim. How many prutos are there in 2 sellers? Yosem alpaim, more than 2,000. Hashta alpaim la'avin yosem alpaim karlu, but it's not even 2,000. Not going to be more than 2,000. Meaning, if you say that 1 pruta is 1/8 of an Italian isar. Now the thing is, there are 24 isars in a dinar. There are 4 dinars in a seller, and there are 2 sellers and 2 sellers. So if you do the math, so you do 8, right? There's 8 prutas in 1 isar, 24 prutas 24, okay, 8 prutas in 1 dinar. No, 8 prutas in 1 isar. Okay, 24 isars in 1 dinar. So 8 times 24 is 192. And then I'll just keep on going so you think that I did the math really quickly and that I didn't memorize this. So 8 prutas in isar, 24 isars in a dinar. So 1 dinar is 192 prutas. Now 4 dinars in a sela, so 192 times 4 is 768. Again, I did the math really fast because I'm so smart. And then there are so what did we just say? 192 times 4 is 768. And then there are 2 sellas in 2 sellas. So 768 times 2 is 1,536. Again, I'm just a math genius. So now Rav Yosef is saying, and these people are still talking outside. I'm a math genius even with people talking outside. Yanki Lazar. So now, Rav Yosef's kasha is if a pruta is always 1/8 of an isser, so then if you do the math like I just did, so then 2 sellas would be 1,536 prutas. Now the thing is, we have a brayso that says that there's more than 2,000 prutas in 2 sellas. Yet, according to you, Abaye, there would only be 1,536. How could there be more than 2,000? So let's read that again. Right, so Rav Yosef. So Rav Yosef says to Abaye, if that's the case, that it's 1/8 of an isser, Hanu de Tanina, then how do you understand the Mishnah? And say Chashov kama prutas b'shnei slaim. Go and calculate how many prutas are in 2 sellas. Yoser me alpayim, more than 2,000. Hashda alpayim lo avyun. It's not even 2,000. It's 1,536. Yoser me alpayim karilu. Why would it call it more than 2,000? So a certain elder says to them, Ana tanina la karov la alpayim. Teach close to 2,000. But sof alpha v'chamish me'ez v'tlasin v'shisahu dahavyan. But still, 1,536 is not exactly super close to 2,000. It's pretty far off. But since it's over the hump, right? If I had to ask you, anybody want to volunteer? We have any math whizzes over here like me? I've already proved myself. Who else wants to prove? Anybody want to prove their math mastery? Here is my query. Here is my query to you, potential math master. If you had to round 1,536 to 2,000 or to 1,000, what is the answer? The answer is to 2,000. And therefore, since it's over the hump and 1,536 rounds to 2,000, that's enough that we can call it close to 2,000. Gufa kiyasar of Dimi Omar. So we said earlier that when did I read that? Yeah, I did. Gufa kiyasar of Dimi Omar. When Rav Dimi came, he said, Shir Reb Simai Bidor. Reb Simai calculated in his generation, Kami Puta, how much is a Puta? Echad Mishmona Bisar Italki, 1/8 of an Italian Yisr. He also, Ravin, when Ravin came, Amar, he said, Sheri Reb Dostai, Reb Yani, Reb Boshaya, Kami Puta, Echad Mishisha, Bisar Italki. Reb Dostai, Reb Yani, and Reb Boshaya said it's 1/6 of an Italian Yisr. So Amalei Abaye, Rav Dimi, so Abaye says to Rav Dimi, Nema, at Viravin. So let's say that you, who say that it's essentially, quote, it as being an 1/8, and Ravin who says that a pruta is 1/6 of an Italian Iser, beflukta dani tanoi ka miflagisu. Let's say that you, Rav Dimi, and Ravin are arguing about the following machlokas tanoim, the Tanyas within the brayso pruta she'amu chachamim, that when the chacham talk about a pruta echad mishmona b'isar italki is 1/8 of an Italian Iser. Here we go. You ready for some math? Sheish ma'a kesef dinar. Okay. Why do I keep on feeling like I'm skipping? But I don't think that I am. Sheish ma'a kesef dinar. Okay. So 1 dinar is 6 ma'as. 1 dinar is 6 ma'as. Okay, ma'a shnei pundion. Now, one ma'a is 2 pundions, so there's 36 pundions in 1 dinar. Pundion shtei isarin, and a pundion is 2 isars. So there are 72 isars in a dinar. Why do I feel like I skipped something? One second. I didn't. All right. Okay, what are we up to? 72 pundions in no. Start again. The Tanya is one of the Brisa. Pruta shamu chachamim. Echad mishmona bisar italki. It's 1/8 of an Italian iser. Sheish ma'a kesef dinar. 1 dinar is 6 ma'as. Ma'a shnei pundion. 1 ma'a is 2 pundion. So there are 36 ma'as in there are 36 pundions in a dinar. Pundion shnei isarin, which means that there are 72 isers in a dinar. Iser shnei musmisim. 1 iser is 2 musmisim. So there are 144 musmisim in a dinar. Mismes shnei kontronkin. 1 mismes is 2 kontronkin. So that is no. Wait, what? This isn't what? Wait, what am I doing wrong here? What the heck am I doing wrong here? What in the world am I doing wrong here? Oh, wait, what? Oh, I knew I was messing something up. Sheish ma'a kesef dinar. So we're starting again for like the 3rd or 4th or 5th time or something. Sheish ma'a kesef dinar. So there are 1 dinar is 6 ma'as of kesef. Ma'a shnei pundion. 1 ma'a is 2 pundions. So that's 12 pundions in a dinar. Pundion shnei isarin. Dude. Okay. Pundion shnei isarin. 1 pundion is 2 isers. So there are 24 isers. Yeah. That's okay. 24 isers in a dinar. Iser shnei musmisim, and iser is 2 musmisim, so there are 48 musmisim in a dinar. Mismis shnei kontronkin, 1 mismis is 2 kontronkin, so that is, what are we up to? 96 kontronkin in a dinar. Kontronkin shtei prutes, and a kontronk is 2 prutas, so 96 times 2 is 192, which was the quick math that I did before. Unfortunately, I'm not doing very quick math right now, so unfortunately, I have to reprove myself as the math whiz that I claim to be. I've proved myself wrong. I've revealed my folly. But al koponim, 192 prutas in a dinar, and we said that there are 24 isers in a dinar. So 192 divided by 24 is 8. Right? Because 20 times 8 is 160, 4 times 8 is 32, so 192. Yeah, exactly. 192 divided by 24 is 8. As we did yesterday, I think also. Well, there you go. Nimtza pruta achas mishmona bisar italki. So Tanna Kamma says that a pruta is 1/8 of an Italian iser. Okay. What time is it? Okay. Rav Shimon Gamliel Amar says, Rav Shimon Gamliel, Shlosha hadrasin lima'a. There's 3 hadrasin in a ma'a. Okay. Shnei anotzin lehadras. Wait, what? Shlosha hadrasin lima'a. So 1 ma'a is 2 hanatzin lahadris. What? Wait, what? Shlosha hadrasin lima'a. So 1 ma'a is 3 hadrases. Okay, so I guess there's 3 hadrashes in a ma'a. Shnei hanotzin lahadris, 2 hanotzas in a hadris. Okay, so I guess that there are 6. Wait, what? Shlosh hadrasin in the ma'a, shnei hanotzin lahadris. So 6 hanotzin in a. So 6 hanotzin to a ma'a, I guess. Shnei shamonim lahanotz, and 2, so 12 shamonim in a ma'a. Beis prutos l'shaman, and 2 prutas. Wait, what? Shlosha. How am I forgetting all of this math? I did it, maybe 10 hours ago. And well, I did it for the second time 10 hours ago, and now I'm doing it for the third time. But why am I like messing all this up? But I guess if you say that, what did we say before? We said that 1 dinar is how many ma'as? We said sheish ma'a kesef dinar. So we said that there's 6 ma'as in a dinar, and we're saying that now shlosha adrasin lema'a. So we said 6 ma'as to a dinar, which means that shlosha adrasin lema'a, that there are 3 hadrasins in a ma'a, which means that there are 6 times 3, 18 hadrasin in a dinar. Shnei anotzin lehadris, and there are 2 anotzin. So I guess, what did we just say? We said 6 times 3, so 18 hadrasin, and then 36 hanotzin in a dinar. Shnei shamanin lahanetz, and then so 2 shamanin lahanetz, so 72 shamanin to a hanetz. Beis prutas l'shaman, and then there's 2 prutas in the shaman, so 72 times 2 is 144. So if you say that there are 144 prutas in a dinar, and there's also 24 isers in a dinar, 144 divided by 24 is 6. So nimtza pruta achas mishisha b'isar italki, so a pruta is 1/6 of an isar italki. Friends, thanks for bearing with me with that math. Shnikes. All that is to say that Abai wants to suggest to Rav Dimi that Rav Dimi holds like the Tanakama, that an Isser is 1/8, and Ravin holds like Rav Shimon Gamliel that a Pruta is 1/6 of an Isser Italki. Omer le ben Didu vein Ravin, so answers Rav Shimon Gamliel that actually, both according to me as well as according to Ravin, Aliba the Tanakama, that both of us are based on the Tanakama. Both of us are based on the Tanakama. Both of us are based on the Tanakama, that it's 1/8 of an Italian Isser. The thing is, Velokasha, it's no problem. Well, no, based on the calculations at least of the Tanakama, that there's 192 prutas in a dinar. So now, Velokasha, it's no problem how the Ikur Isser hadizol is the Ikur Isuri hadizol Isuri. It depends if the Isser is strong or if the Isser is weak. Had the Ikur Isuri come Esrim ve'arba bezuza adizol kum plus a mitrain bezuza. When the Isser is stronger, so then it is 24 Issers in a dinar. So then you're doing 192 divided by 24, which we said was 8. But when the Isser is weaker, so then it's actually 32 Issers in a dinar. So then you're doing 192 divided by 32, which is 6, right? 32, 96 times 2. Yeah, exactly. Shnikes! We're done with the math. Let's go weiter. Amr Shmuel, says Shmuel, Kidsha b'tmara. If a fellow is mekadesh a fellow with a date. I guess that's an appropriate thing to mekadesh a fellow with. Or probably better yet, go on a date and be mekadesh her with a ring. That's a better idea, as we're going to see. Right? Kidsha b'tmara, afilu omed kor tmarim b'dinar mikudeshes. So even if currently you can get a whole core of dates for a dinar, i.e. dates are super cheap, nonetheless mikudeshes, because chayshinan shem shava puta b'madai. Maybe it's worth a shava puta in Madai where they don't have dates, and dates are a very fancy delicacy. And in Madai it would be expensive, it would be worth a shava puta. So therefore we say mikudeshes. V'anantanan beisil obim b'pruta v'shava puta. But one second, our Mishnah says that according to Beis Shammai, it has to be a pruta or a shavet pruta. And the point is, if it's a shavet pruta, mikudeshes, if not, then not. And if what we're saying is that we always have to be concerned that anything of any value maybe is worth something some other place, then what's the whole point of saying it needs to be a pruta or a shavet pruta? It sounds like anything really works because you always have to be concerned that maybe in some place it's worth a shavet pruta. Lo kasha b'kiddushay vade or b'kiddushay safek. It depends. When Beis Hillel says that it needs to be worth a pruta, that means for kiddushay vade, right? If you're for sure married if you give something worth a pruta. When we're saying that these dates, which may be worth a shavar pruta in some place where they don't have dates, so that's kiddushay safek. Meaning kiddushay vade is with shavar pruta. If you're not sure, then it's kiddushay safek, which is what we're saying over here. That if you are mekadesh with a date, so then she's mikudeshes, even though it's unclear that it's actually worth a shava pruta, that would only be kiddushay safek. Ha'u gavra, there's a certain fellow. The akdish bezavde de orde, he was mekadesh a fella with a bundle of flock. Friends, I don't know what a bundle of flock is, but a fellow was mekadesh a fella with a bundle of flock. Yosef of Shimon bar Chia kami de Rav, so Shimon bar Chia was sitting before Rav, become ha'inbo. He's trying to figure out if this bundle of flock is worth a shava pruta, so then there is mikudeshes. If not, then not. Where am I? Vileis ba shava pruta lo. What do you mean that if it's less than a shava pruta, then there's no kiddushin? But didn't Shmuel say that we have to be concerned that maybe it's worth a shava pruta in some place? Lo kasha b'kedusha vada b'kedusha safek. Again, when Shmuel was saying that mikudeshes, that's kiddushay safek, Rav Shimon bar Chia was trying to figure out if it is kiddushay vadai. How gava? There was a fellow, Daktish ba'avna de kuchla, who was mekadesh a fella with a blue stone. Yosef Rav Chizda v'kam b'sharle, and Rav Chizda was sitting and he was trying to figure out, he is beishav puta in v'ilo lo, that if this blue stone is worth a shava puta, okay, so then she's mikudeshes. If it's not worth a shava puta, then nisht. V'leis be'shava puta lo. What do you mean if it's not a shava puta, there's no kiddushin? V'ha amar Shmuel chashinan. But didn't Shmuel say that we have to be concerned that it's worth a shava puta? Rav Chizda lo savale d'Shmuel. So Rav Chizda didn't hold like Shmuel, and instead he says if it's not worth a shava puta, it's not worth a shava puta. So Amra lei ime. So now the fellow's mother says to Rav Chizda, V'ha ha'u yoma dikidsha have a shava puta. But on the day that my son was mekadesh, this fella, it was the blue stone was worth a shava pruta. So Omar la, so Rav Chizda says to the mother, Lav kol kiminach de asait la abasu. Now, friends, there's an important detail that I left out. The important detail is thus: she then received kesef kiddushin from another fellow, a ring, definitely a shava pruta. So that's the problem. So the shaila is, if she's mikudeshes to the first guy, so then the second kiddushin is gunished. It's nothing. If she was not mikudeshes to the first guy, so then the second kiddushin works. And Rav Chizda, so now the mother of the first chosin says, well, that day the blue stone was worth a shava pruta, and therefore she's mikudeshes to my son. And Rav Chizda says, Lav kol kaminoch to asad lo abasra. We can't just believe you to say that on that day it was worth a shava pruta, and now she's asura to the second guy. We can't just trust you like that. Lav hainu di Yehudis devisu de Reb Chia. Is this not like the story with Yehudis, the wife of Reb Chia, David Tsar Leda, that she was having a difficult childbirth? Amra lay, and then she says to Reb Chia, Amrli aim, that my mother told me, Kabil bich avuch kiddushay kizutras, that your father accepted kesef kiddushin when you were young, i.e., meaning she was having a hard time with her pregnancy and with giving birth, and she thought that maybe she was being punished because really she was married to another fellow when she was young, and she says, my mother told me that when I was young, my father married me off to somebody else. So Amar La, so Reb Chia responds, Lav kol kamina di'imach, we can't just believe your mother like that, de'asur lich ilavai, to make you asura to me. So here also we can't simply trust the mother here to say that the blue stone was worth a pruta on the day of the kiddushin, and that she's now asura to the second fellow. Amrei le Rabbon Rav Chizda, the rabbi said to Rav Chizda, Amai ha'ika saide be'idis diyade dibau yoma have be shava pruta. But the rabbi said to Rav Chizda, but 1 second, there are witnesses. Now the witnesses aren't here; they're in some far out place. They're in a place called Edis. But there exist witnesses in some place called Edis. The Yade, I'm going to read that again, that they know the Ba'u Yoma, that on that day of the Kiddushin, Havebe Shava Pruta, the blue stone was worth a Shava Pruta. It says of Chizda Hashta Mia Lesnu Kaman. Yes, but they are not here with us right now. They're in some far away place. That doesn't help us. Lav Hainu de B'chanina, is this not like the case of Reb Chanina, is this not like the case of Reb Chanina? The Reb Chanina, it says Reb Chanina, Eidea b'tzad iston v'teaser, right? This was the case in Masechta Yevamis, that Yevamis Ksubis, that the daughters of Shmuel were taken captive. And if there are witnesses that testify that they were taken captive, then they are not believed to say that they didn't have bia while they were in captivity. If there are witnesses, now we say over there, now there are witnesses, but the witnesses are in some other place. So we're saying if the witnesses are not here, they're in some far out place. We don't make them asurin, right? We don't make these daughters asuros. So therefore, here as well. If there are witnesses out in Edis who know that on that day the blue stone was with the Shavaputa, that doesn't help us, they're far away. Okay. Abai v'Rava lo svir lehu lehadr of Chizda. Abai and Rava don't hold of that of Rav Chizda. Imekelu b'shvuya, because they argue, look, if by a shvuya we say, look, I don't care that there are witnesses in far out place, we can't trust those witnesses in a far out place. Dimenav lo nafsha gabi shavoy. Okay, I understand why in the case of the daughters of Shmuel, when they were taken captive, and they're coming and they're saying that, right, Tahara Ani, that they did not have bia while in captivity, but there are witnesses far away who know that they were taken captive. Which, if there are witnesses that they were taken captive, then we can't trust them anymore. But the witnesses are far away, and we say, don't count the witnesses, don't discard them. We're saying don't listen to them. We're saying that makes sense in the context of girls that were taken captive, because, right, they have zero interest in sleeping with their captors, and therefore they will do whatever they can to make themselves disgusting in front of them, so that they will be of no interest to their captors. And therefore, if they say that they manage to evade sleeping with their captors, we can believe them, right? If the witnesses are far away, let's just not pay them any attention to the witnesses. But nekel be'eshes ish. But why should we just be lenient in the case of Eishes Ish? I mean, right, this is a situation of Eishes Ish, right? Who's she married to? And there are witnesses in Edis who can testify that she's married to the first guy. Like, we can't just discredit them. Ishtar me'ahi mishpache besura. Now, Rav Chizda had paskind that she is not married to the first guy. She is married to the second guy, and they got married and they had kids. And that family was in Surah, which is where Rav Chizda was. But the rabbis would not marry into that family. It's not because they hold like Shmuel, who says that we have to be concerned that at least it's Kiddushin suffix to the first guy. That's not why they stayed away from this girl. Rather because they hold like Abai v'Rava, that if there are witnesses who can testify that this blue stone was worth Shavaputa that day, so we have to pay attention to that, and therefore we have to be concerned that she's married to the first guy, not married to the second guy. All right, it got a little bit technical over there, but let's go right there. There was a fellow who was mekadesh, a fella with a myrtle branch in Shukmachni Yehuda. Shalcha Rav Acha bar Huna lekame de Rav Yosef ke'agavna mai. So Rav Acha bar Huna sends to Rav Yosef, "No, what do we do in this situation?" Shalach lei. So Rav Yosef responds, "Nagde kirav, lash this fellow like Rav. Vatzur gita kishmuel." And he requires a get like Shmuel because Shmuel is concerned that maybe it was Kiddushin, even though it's merely a myrtle branch. That Rav would give makis on a fellow who would be mekadesh, a fella in the shuk, in the marketplace. Okay, how come? I guess Rashi says mishum pritzusa. What, it's pritzus to be mekadesh b'shuk? Okay. I guess it's something private that you don't want to do, like out in Shuk Machni Yehuda, I guess. V'adam mekadesh b'bia, and a fellow's mekadesh b'bia. That, right? We don't do kiddushin with bia. We generally do kiddushin with a ring. V'adam mekadesh below shiduchei, and if a fellow's mekadesh a fella without ever having met her, without saying like, all right, let's do this. He's just pushing his mekadesh a fella. V'adam mevatel gita. If a fellow is mevatel a get, right? He sends a messenger to give a get to his wife, and he catches up with the messenger. He says, "I'm being mevatel a get." So Rav would give makas for that, because we have to be concerned that maybe somehow still the get will get to the hands of will be delivered to the wife, and then it's bottle, but she'll think she's divorced. They'll create a whole mess. And if a fellow is, after consenting to give a wife, is saying that he's not consenting to give a get, he's then saying he's not consenting to give a get. And if a fellow, the rabbis come to summon him to court, summons him to court, and he gives the court appointed messenger a hard time. If a fellow was put in excommunication for 30 days and he didn't fix his ways, so then you get makis. And for a son-in-law who lives in his father-in-law's house, to dayir in chalif lo, only if he lives in his father-in-law's house, not if he passes by, right? Because the concern is that if he lives in his father-in-law's house, he might be having relations with his mother-in-law. So therefore, you shouldn't have a son-in-law living in the in-laws' house. So the dayir in chalif lo, so that's only if he lives in the in-laws' house, but not if he simply passes by. But there's a certain son-in-law who passed by the house of his in-laws. V'nagdi Rav Sheshes, and Rav Sheshes gave him makis. How made them have a daima chamos emine, but there was already a suspicion that there was something going on between the two of them, the mother-in-law and the son-in-law. Nadai Amri said, "Nadai b'chulu lo mangid Rav." No, Rav didn't give lashes in these situations. Elo ad mekadesh b'bia below shiduche, only for a fellow who's mekadesh a fellow with bia, without ever talking to her about it first, right? They didn't ever meet each other in advance and say, okay, we're going to get engaged and any of that. No, they just said bia l'shem kiddushin. So in that case, Rav would give makis, but not in none of the other cases. V'kedam, those who say afilu b'shiduche nami mishum pitzusen. Those who say no, even b'shiduche, even if they were dating and they decided they were going to get married, and then came time for kiddushin and he was mekadesh b'bia, still that Rav would give makis for that, because it preaches that we don't want people being mekadesh b'bia, just be mekadesh b'kesef or b'shtar, I guess. But of course nowadays we generally do Kiddushin with a shavet pruta with a ring. Friends, that was Daf Yud Beis of Masechta Kiddushin. We did a bunch of math. Is Isser Italki, is a pruta an 8th or a 6th of Isser Italki, and that kind of stuff. If you're Mekadesh a woman with not sure if it's a shavet pruta or not, so we saw a few different opinions. Shmuel said that, you have to be concerned that misafik that it's Kiddushin. We saw Abai and Rav who said that if there are witnesses far away who can say that it's worth a pruta, so then we have to pay attention to them. Rav Chizda said that we don't pay attention to them. All right, and we saw different cases where Rav gives makis. Friends, that was Daf Yud Beis and Masechta Kiddushin. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.